Welcome back to my channel, friends. Today we'll talk about world war situations. Many people have asked this question to me that whether there will be a third world war or not. And I promised you in my last video that I'll make a video on that. I was doing my research. Okay. So right now, here it is. I have prepared three horoscopes you can see. That's a transit of planets. I'll focus on the exact dates where the world war actually triggered. I talk with data. I never go here and there. You guys know me well. This is the transit chart of 28th June 1914. Why 28th June? You know, right, that on 28th July 1914, World War I started. But I took the date of 28th June. Why? If you check the history, you will see actually this World War, the First World War, have been triggered by a particular incident. There was an assassination. Archduke Franz Ferdinand killed, or you can say murdered, on 28th June. That's why I took the date of 28th June 1914, because this particular event triggered the World War. Just after 1 month, 28th July 1914, World War I started, First World War. Now, I'll tell you three rules. Whenever you calculate these big events, you do an RCA, that is root cause analysis, from where this particular event occurred or triggered. Then check the transit of that particular date, the big event. This is the big event. The assassination date of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Now I am going to tell you three rules. Number one, I have explained in my earlier videos also. Sun is the government indicator planet in Naadi astrology. Okay? Whenever you are checking a world war like situation, you must consider the position of Sun. Whether Sun is powerful or it is weak. It has to be weak. Because whenever this kind of crisis happens, always government will be on pressure, irrespective of country. Each and every country is involved in these kind of situations like World War. Second rule, you need to see Leo, the sign represented by the king or sun, whether there is any kind of pressure on Leo or not. That is the second rule. Third rule, in Naadi astrology, Venus is the Karaka of any kind of construction. If the position of Venus is very weak, then it shows there might be problems like bombardings and all, and definitely buildings gonna destroy. That's how you should relate. And today I'll tell you how to see this, how to predict a big event, and you can answer this yourself whether there will be third world war or not, as we all know the current situation. So I was talking about three rules. First rule, sun, position of sun, whether sun is weak or not. Second, the position of Leo, the sign Leo, which is represented by sun. Sun is the government. And position of Venus, which should be weak. Now whenever you calculate a big event, you need to consider the starting point. We all know that First World War started in 28th July 1914, but the actual incident triggered on 28th June 1914. You see, with the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Okay, so that is the event I have captured here. This is the transit of that particular period. So whenever you have to predict a big event, you need to track down the actual source of that particular event. First World War has been started just after the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. It took 1 month to start the World War. I have told you 3 rules. Let's check it. And you might feel shocked again. See, Sun was in Gemini at that particular time with Saturn. Now you will see first Jupiter. Whenever Jupiter aspects Sun, it won't let other planets touch Sun or hurt him in any kind of way. Jupiter will always protect Sun. But at that particular time, you will see there is no aspect of Jupiter on this particular house where Sun is placed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is the sixth house from Jupiter. I'll talk about that also. Now, you will see Rahu's effect on Sun. See, Rahu aspecting Sun. So, Sun is under tremendous pressure. For war-like situations, we have to see Mars always. And I have told this in my earlier video of India and China. You will see Mars is on Leo, but Mars is aspected by Rahu and sitting with Ketu, and Saturn is also aspecting Mars. So Mars is not at all comfortable. It cannot help Sun. Jupiter also cannot help Sun. This is the situation of First World War. I'm talking about 28th June when Archduke Franz Ferdinand has been murdered or assassinated. People who doesn't believe in astrology, okay, for those I have noted down one point. Here you will see this is not a thing which I have made up. You can check this in Google, okay, and please see the Saturn transit of 1914 when First World War started. And people who doesn't believe in astrology, please see this. From 21st June 1914, Saturn moved to Gemini on this particular house, and it took only 7 days for this assassination to be happened. Okay, that is how we calculate many things in astrology, especially in Naadi astrology. Now coming to the part of Venus. I told you that you need to check Venus also. See, at that time Venus is in Cancer. It's not at all comfortable and is aspected by Jupiter. Of course, we all know that Jupiter is not a friend of Venus. So Venus is also very weak. One more rule, 3 rules I explained. Number 5 was Leo, the sign which is represented by Sun. See the pressure on Leo. This is the number 5. Rahu's aspect. Jupiter is not aspecting this particular house, so Jupiter can't save. Mars is here but aspected by Saturn. So this particular house is also affected. So these 3 rules matched and First World War triggered. That's how you research. Now I'll explain these things and you can easily find out and answer that whether there will be World War III or not. I've seen few videos and those are really very pathetic. I must say that, because there is no reason. People are saying many things, but without any logic. So there is also a science in astrology, right? So you need to see the logic. Now we all know that Second World War started in 1st September 1939. It is triggered by, of course, we all know, the Nazi Germany's led by Hitler. See this carefully. This particular chart, this is the time of World War II, 1st September 1939. The big event, only big event was the attack of Nazis led by Hitler. Coming to the first part, Sun. Here we can actually see the two rules at the same time. You see, Sun is placed in his own house, that is Leo. So we'll see the effect or the bad effects on this particular house. Okay, so that would be effect on Sun and this particular house itself. You will see Saturn and Ketu both are connected with this house in trine. In Naadi astrology, I have already explained time and again that we'll see connections via directional aspects of planet. Doesn't matter which ascendant and all, irrespective of ascendant or signs. Saturn and Ketu actually both are connected with this particular house. Sun has the effect of Saturn plus Ketu. This is not good. Again, Jupiter can't save because this is the sixth house from Jupiter. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And I already explained that if there is a world-like situation, we need to see Mars. In this particular case, Mars was not comfortable at all because aspected by Saturn, Rahu's aspect, and sitting with Ketu. That's it. At the time of World War II, you will see Mars was sitting in Capricorn, number 10, and Saturn was sitting in number 1. What does that mean? It's kind of immediate friendship between them. We can't say friendship because these are enemies. Saturn and Mars, they are typical enemies. They always fight. Mars, who could save Sun or could help Sun because of his 8th aspect on this particular house, he couldn't do so. Mars was also under the effect of Saturn. It was in immediate friendship or transitional friendship with Saturn. So Mars will not save Sun. And Jupiter also couldn't save. World War II started at that particular date. One more magical thing, focus. In my earlier videos, I always say these things. If a particular incident or particular big event is gonna happen, history will repeat for sure. Maybe in a different way, but there will be some resemblance. I always focus on this sentence. If you go to an astrologer, please ask about your past. If he or she cannot predict your past, for sure that particular astrologer cannot predict your future. That's the logic of astrology. Now you will see one thing. In Naadi astrology, I told you earlier that Jupiter is the Atma Karaka planet. In both the cases, can you see one thing? Sun is sitting on the 6th house from Jupiter. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 6th house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is the house of enemy. Sun is in the house of enemy. That is why astrology is magical but also logical. I see some people that they make videos and they say any kind of things. They are completely unaware of the fact of astrology. So you see, These two cases actually matched. Venus weak, Sun weak, and also the sign Leo is not in a good health because there is no aspect of Jupiter either on Sun or this particular house, number 5, that is Leo. See, this is the eighth house from Jupiter, so Jupiter can't see this house. So Jupiter can't save. Now coming to the current situation, people who are waiting for this and just want to know what's gonna happen. I'm not going to answer. I have explained already. You see the transit of 15th and 16th June, okay, for that particular incident when there was a clash between India and China in the Galwan Valley area. Okay, at that time, this was the transit position. Now the question is, if that particular event or World War III is gonna happen, then these three rules which I explained to you, it's gonna match, and then only we can say that this particular event will trigger World War III. Now you will answer. What was the first rule? Position of Sun. Sun is in Gemini right now with Rahu. So Sun is obviously not in a good position. Sun is aspected by Mars. I explained this earlier also in my India versus China astrology video. Mars, who is actually affected by Saturn, sitting in Saturn's house, and just beside Saturn, it has its effect on Sun, but it's a bad effect, not a good one. Jupiter is sitting here, rather was sitting in that particular house. Right now Jupiter is here, so I'm ignoring current transit. You will see that particular day's transit. So Jupiter was here. Jupiter couldn't see Sun. See, from Jupiter it was the 6th house. From Jupiter this was the 6th house. From Jupiter again this was the 6th house. Sun is sitting in the house of enemy with bad effects of Rahu and Mars. But Saturn directly cannot touch Sun. Okay, because it's the 6th house from Saturn. Jupiter couldn't save. That's why I explained earlier on that video that clash, how that clash happened, and what's the explanation I have already given. Now, second rule, the sign Leo, which is represented by Sun. This is the Leo, aspected by Mars, again, who has got effect of Saturn. Jupiter can't see this particular house, but Ketu can see this particular house and via its ninth aspect. Okay, so we can say these two rules, like number 5, sign, this particular sign Leo and Sun, both are not in a good position. So a war-like situation was there. Okay, two rules matched. The third rule, what was the third rule? We need to see Venus. Where was Venus? Venus actually is playing an important role in every world war because Venus is the construction as per Naadi astrology. So if Venus is not at all in a good position, there will be destruction. Now we can combine all this and come to the conclusion. So let's see Venus. Venus was in its own house, that is Taurus. So Venus is not debilitated here. It's in good position actually. So war-like situation happened, that's for sure. But now you can answer me that whether there would be World War III just because of this. And let me tell you one thing very honestly. I am researching on a very beautiful subject. That video I'll come up with very soon. That is end of China. Yes, you heard it right. I have found some magical things. So I'm actually involved in that particular research now. And I can see clearly that by the end of 2039, maybe much before than that, China, will not be in the current form. And I'm in progress of making that particular video. I'll just complete my research and I'll explain why. And it has already started. Wait for that particular video. That's gonna be awesome. It might take some time because I have videos scheduled. You need to stay tuned, please. And yes, in my earlier video also, in India China astrology, and in my previous video of corona also, I explained this earlier, that after 30th June coronavirus will rise and it will continue till at least September. So now you can see the position just after 30th June. What happened? Again lockdown started. Who says astrology is fake? Who says astrology doesn't work? People can be wrong, not astrology. There are many frauds. Let me tell you, 99% of astrologers are fraud. They are just doing their business. They just want to grab your money. That's it. Of course, there are good astrologers. Maybe 1%. So guys, please stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel. If you want to learn, if you really want to learn, and if you have time for this divine subject, this beautiful subject, then please subscribe to my channel. You will learn many more things. And you don't need to go to any astrologer. That is the motive of my channel. That is the goal. I want to stop these fraudulent activities. I want to clean the name of astrology because astrology is divine. Astrology is not made for business. It's for helping people. If you like my videos, please like it, put a comment, and most importantly, take care. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.